Hello, it's Light Anchors. I always feel like I'm living in the future. Like the things I have to say are vastly out of the realm of which other people are able to understand, I guess. And then they lash out at you with anger because that's what people do when they don't understand something. And then it makes you never want to say anything ever again. I've been there many times. I'm like, I'll never say anything else. But I'm super stubborn. And sometimes, many times, things need to be said, even if people don't get it. Because somewhere, somebody does. And really, I guess all it really takes is one thought that gets amplified by another person thinking it, and then it ripples through the collective consciousness, and then eventually, at some point, like the vast majority of people understand, and then there's like a shift, and then everything makes more sense. But when you're back here in this, hey man, I have an idea, and everyone's like, that's dumb, that's not how it works. People don't want to talk about disease in an abstract way. It's all like bacteria, and these are the reasons for this disease, and it's proven. But you see, there are two worlds, two states of reality. I mean, there's a lot, but here in this 3D plane, there are two. There's like science, and there's also spirituality. And if science could just grip on to that missing link of spirituality, I feel we could cure many things. But the trouble is, people are all about like what they see, what is proven scientifically. And I get it, science is important. But also, if you don't have the entire puzzle, you're not curing, you're managing symptoms. And that's not the same thing. People don't even realize. One of the main reasons you get sick is because the thoughts that you have on repeat. Your brain is so powerful, it believes everything you tell it. It can't tell the difference between fact and fiction. So when you have a thought, for example, on repeat your entire life, like, for example, oh, one day I'll get this disease because it's in the family line. Everyone else always had it. And you grow up with this thought in your mind, one day it'll be me, one day it'll be me, one day it'll be me, because everyone else has it, everyone else has it, everyone else has it. I'm going to get it one day it's going to be me. And this is years and years and years of your life that you have this thought on repeat, because at some point in your life someone told you, oh yeah, this disease totally runs in the family. So then you have this thoughts, a collection of thoughts, recycling, that one day it's gonna be you. And then what happens? One day it's you. And you're like, see, it's hereditary, it's in the family line. Of course I was gonna get it. But you see, what are your thoughts? What are you telling yourself is gonna happen? Every single physical symptom we have in this 3D world has a spiritual reason for why it's happening. Basically, the physical stuff is the symptoms. You have to heal the spiritual aspect of yourself in order to clean up everything else so that everything else heals, and then it reflects in your physical, because the physical is the what's the word I'm looking for? The physical is like here now, and the spiritual is like mental. What's happening inside in your mind. And people don't think that it helps, but you see, we are in a state in which people don't think ever. People do as they're told, and that's where we are. We're coming to a place where questioning is wrong. You can't question what's happening. You have to go along with what they're saying. And it just makes me sad, man, because it's not true. Like, for example, I'm kind of segueing a bit, but it's still in the same realm of what I'm talking about. So, depression. People think that's forever, and they have many different fancy names to tell you what level of depression you're at. But what is happening in your mind? What thoughts do you have on repeat that's making you depressed? It's an unfortunate pit to fall into, but most likely all of us have been there. And you think yourself into that. You 100% can think yourself out of it. It's hard, yeah. Healing is hard. Healing hurts. But isn't being healthy and not having your brain riddled with stuff that's literally making you sick worth it? I used to be like really good at making myself sick. Because when I was little, I didn't want to go to school because it was horrible. So I was like, I'll just be sick and then I don't have to go. And as time went on, I got better at making myself more convincingly sick. And then as time went on, like I was writing a lot, and I'm empathic, but I didn't know that then, and so I really connect with the characters, and like when one of them ends up really depressed, I'm really depressed. Because I'm filling my head up with things that lead you to depression, lead you to disease. I mean, you don't have to believe me. That's totally fine. I always encourage you to do your own research. I love research. It's so much fun. So I encourage you to do it yourself. Experiment with yourself. How else are you going to know what's happening unless you try? I do not feel that being on medication for your entire life is an answer. I mean, you have to do what's best for you wherever you are in your life. I understand that. I don't agree with, let me go to this doctor because I don't feel good, or whatever your problem is, and the doctor listens to you for 30 seconds and then makes a judgment call on how they think you feel or what should happen next. And then it's like, oh, here, let me give you this pill and you can take it for the rest of eternity, and it might work, it might not, but you should keep taking it. I don't feel like that's healing or helpful, because you're not getting to the root of the problem, you're covering it up. with a band-aid when you need to rip it open, dive deep within yourself, and figure out what the fuck is the problem so that you can fix it, so that you can get better. I'm really passionate about this. I spent my childhood always sick. And interestingly enough, doctors were always like, I don't know what's wrong with you, and they sent me away. And then when it was all like mental depression and so forth, and anxiety and worry, I tried therapy for a bit. That was not helpful either, but my therapist wasn't a very good one. Research. Lesson learned. Eventually, I had to work through everything on my own. And it did suck, and it was awful, and I cried so much. But I cry way less now. I cry not a lot, so much to the point I'm like, am I okay? Because I don't cry pretty much ever. Well, I was crying recently, but that was only because Ethan bit me because I was trying to feed his brother food and he got my finger instead. Anyway, so I cried then, but I used to cry a lot, and now I don't cry hardly at all. I just feel like it's important that we take note of the thoughts that are cycling, because they have a big impact on your physical health. And another thing, if you're afraid, you can be controlled. And you can convince yourself you're sick when you're not. I feel like these are important things. They need to be talked about. They need to be kept in mind. And people aren't talking about this, to my knowledge. I mean, they could be, which would be cool. We need more people to talk about it. They could potentially explain it better than I can. I hope you guys are well, and I hope you guys are keeping track of your thoughts, and when they are sucking the life out of you, you recognize that. You say, hey man, this isn't serving me, this is bringing me down, and then you let it go. And then when you want to try to think it again, you have to actively engage your mind in something else that will help you think of something else. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. You know? So do something different. It's okay. People who say people don't change have spent a long time resisting who they have come here to be. You just gotta flow. You know? Take note of your thoughts. How do you feel? How does your physical body feel? What are you telling yourself? What do you believe? These are important. You need to know the answers. I'm sending you guys such love. If you need someone to talk to, I'm here. And I'm always willing to listen. Please let me know. Bye!